Hey everyone, Scott Bunn here, Putting You in Your Place, episode 13. Today we've got some interesting topics. We're going to talk about possible housing crashes, TikTok. We're going to talk about some business. We're going to put our perspective on life, and maybe we'll inspire you a little bit too. So here we go, episode 13. For everybody that's been watching, it means the world to me. So thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy the show.
That was so cheesy. I love it. All right.
I mean, those always crack me up.
Dude, they're so funny.
Yeah. Hey, as long as we're entertained.
Yeah, I'm entertained.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
Yeah?
Nothing much.
How's life?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Worried about the stock market, though.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm just watching the red.
Man, that Nikola thing was disappointing.
Did you see his
Did he get arrested?
I don't think he got arrested, but he stepped down.
Yeah, he left the company.
Trevor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's under investigation though, so it could go back up.
Yeah, but it's going to tank in the meantime.
Yeah.
Because the confidence of everything.
That'd be the perfect time to buy it though.
Well, when it hits the rock bottom, can you time it at the bottom? Right? No.
I don't know. I mean, if you time it now, and then you go ahead and buy it and just hold on to it, it should go back to where it was before.
And I was prepared to go down with the ship, but when the CEO bails, that's tough.
Was he the CEO
He
or
was the
executive chairman?
He was the founder and the executive chairman, like whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like your head of the board kind of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Cool. Yeah, man, get us started. Let's get this thing on the road here. I think we got some pretty interesting things.
First, before we get started into the podcast, I just want to tell everyone to be safe while you're showing your homes. I've seen 2 or 3 articles come up in the National Association of Realtors magazine.
Yeah.
One was 2 are charged with attempted abduction of an agent, and then the other one was a real estate agent finds an armed gunman in the house that they're showing. So very scary times. Just be safe whenever you're going to the houses, because apparently that's something that's really bad right now.
I would encourage. The majority of this industry are female. It's 80-20. And for me too, today I went out and I met strangers at a house for the first time, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. It can be nerve-wracking. And I'm really debating. I've debated for a long time getting my concealed carry permit, and just having something on me to protect myself if I get into a spot. So yeah. I mean, it's something that everybody in this industry really needs to take seriously. Meeting a stranger for the first time in a vacant home is a compromised position.
Yeah, just something safe to protect them. Not even because some people don't like guns, so pepper spray works. A knife,
some deterrent, something that will allow you to get away.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
All right, so. Big topic going on in the real estate industry right now is this whole eviction ban that's happening. I don't know if you saw where the NAR went to go meet with President Trump and his administration right now.
I did look at that.
Yeah, they're kind of concerned about what's happening. I'll go ahead and pull up the article real quick.
I want to pull that up too.
Yeah, so really the reason that they went to go talk to his administration, they're just concerned about long term. It's they're doing the eviction ban, eviction ban. I don't know. Every time I say that sounds weird. Just no evictions, basically. But they're looking long term because, if you tell your tenant that they don't have to pay for X amount of time till January 1st of next year, where does that money come from, right? So they're trying to figure out a long term solution because they're afraid that at the end of that, people aren't going to be able to pay that money back to their landlords. So this can kind of melt into is there going to be a 2021 housing crisis, right? Yeah.
So this could be one of those factors because this is going to infect investors that hold rentals that could end up affecting their personal incomes.
Yeah.
So that could have a trickle down effect that would cause some sort of housing crisis.
What do you think a long-term solution would look like for this? Like,
I mean, look, right now there's guidelines that they've set out that evictions aren't impossible. They're just not encouraged. Like, if someone's not paying their rent due to an actual problem that they've had due to COVID, let's just be human. Let's just be empathetic. Let's work with these people. You know, and a lot of banks are working with investors. I know my bank was happy to give me forbearance for 3 months on my investment properties. They actually said, "Hey, we're giving you forbearance." We didn't go to them and ask for it. They just gave it. So
does that like hurt you as like a business owner? Does that hurt your like credit score or anything?
Forbearance in this situation did not hurt our credit.
Okay, so it's not going to show up on like a future.
Where it hurt us was if we wanted to go do more. Like if we wanted to buy something else, or if we wanted to refinance our current situation and we took forbearance, they've made us wait until we're out of it, and we've made 3 consecutive on-time payments.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yeah. So
the bank helped us get in a cash flow positive situation with no payments for 3 months. We were able to collect $6,000 or $7,000 because of that, with no debt obligation. And then we got to turn around and work with our renters that were affected. If they weren't affected, they said, "We're not affected. We can keep paying you." But if the people that were affected, we just became humans. We understood their situation, and we got grace, so we gave grace. But if there is no grace, how are we going to continue to give grace if we're going to be back to debt obligation, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the thing is if they're affected by COVID and that affects us, then we also need some forgiveness, some understanding.
And this whole eviction ban thing is sort of subjective too, because basically you have to be able to prove to your landlord that like, oh, I can't pay this because of COVID, and here's why. And a really good lawyer could come back and be like, that's working for the landlord, could come back and be like some sort of like really great rebuttal to it, and then that starts the process. It's
still subjective to the situation. So it's not like you as the renter can predatorily take advantage of your landlord at this point. But if your landlord tries to take advantage of you because of your situation, then there's big penalties for that, right? Right now there's like jail time involved for trying to evict somebody that has been affected by COVID, that they can prove that they've been affected by COVID. So you need to tread lightly on how you're treating people. And in communities like ours, communities like the New River Valley, if you're not sympathetic and willing to work with your people, and you demand of things of them in tough times, that will spread. Your business will be put on a list that the public knows is predatory, and they will not give you high recommendations, and it could affect your bottom line big time. So like talking to all the landlords, it's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is the right thing to do always and forever. So when you stop doing the right thing for people, it's going to affect you. Karma is actually a real thing.
Yeah. I think a lot of landlords around here are pretty willing to work with people because we're in a really small area.
I know a landlord in this community sent out letters to their clients or to their renters, their tenants, saying that no matter what, you owe rent.
Yeah. I really think that this problem isn't directly involved with us. I think it's more of these bigger cities where it's like there's a ton of people going in and out of the city, moving in and out. So like they could treat their people really badly, but then you have like 1 million people moving into your city in the next year, then it's like.
And this is really supplied to protect the people with low income housing options. It's probably more to protect them and the landlords that see no humanality within the situation. All they see is the bottom line of their numbers. And there's people out there like that. When you own 500 units, it's all numbers. It's not actually a human being at that point. It's a dollar game only, right? So that takes a little bit of the ability to like express human feelings when it's that at scale, right?
Yeah. Customer service is always key when it comes to things like this, because that's what's going to bring you the most money later down the line. So are we actually in trouble for 2021? I have my own theories and opinions to this, but it just. What do you think?
In the research we've done, the YouTube link that I sent you, and that, everybody wants to be Nostradamus. Everybody after a big extended period of growth, it's so easy to pontificate on now it's time for the crash. But what does a crash even look like, and what does it mean? Is a recession a crash after one of the best economical times of our lifetime?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to call that a crash, go ahead.
Yeah.
But every peak has a valley, and every valley has a peak at some point.
Yeah.
So like, are we gonna contract after 10 plus years of growth in the real estate world? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think that the crash that everyone's talking about, there are factors, and I'll talk about what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah.
And like from what I've researched and what I've been picking up on from reading the news. But really, I think the real estate industry could have kept growing, but just because of COVID, it kind of like, not escalated, but it kind of moved forward the crash, like to happening earlier than it might have.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm seeing, and like there's a few factors right now that are similar to 2008, and there are some things that are totally different because we're facing something that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Right. So right now the whole thing is like the eviction crisis is where it's starting, because everyone's really scared that they're going to get evicted. Right. So normally we see about 4 million filings every year for evictions, but only about like 10 to 30%. I know that's a huge like percentage, but like only 10 to 30% actually like go through the whole process of being evicted. Right.
Right.
Now they're predicting about 10 to 15 million being filed. So if you take that like 10 to 30%, you're looking at about roughly 4 to 5 million people being evicted.
That's interesting. That is a very interesting stat.
I don't know where that 10 to 15 million came from.
Yeah,
but that's what they're predicting.
Yeah, and everybody can predict.
It might be based on like the unemployment rate that's going on right now, because unemployment shot up because a bunch of businesses are closing.
That's true. They probably have history matrix around unemployment and evictions.
Yeah.
They probably do have something historically that shows when this
100%.
happens, that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if I had to take a guess on when they started tracking it, probably 50s, 1950s, something like that.
Yeah.
But so there's the eviction crisis, right? So that's what everyone's scared about. And the plus side to this is it's going to get delayed a lot because the courts are super backed up because there's so many more being filed. So the bonus to that is it gives the Senate a long time to come together and figure things out, figure out a solution. So that way, that long-term thing that the NAR was talking about with President Trump, they have a long time to figure that out. Yeah. So we'll probably start, if they're filing now, we'll probably see it around like January, April when it starts going into effect, like when they start moving forward. So the problem with this is if let's say the landlords lose their tenants, they're going to have a hard time filling that space back up because unemployment is still pretty high.
So what that means is that rent rates are going down. So if someone then can't afford the lease that they've got and they get evicted, someone else is going to come in there and they're probably going to need to take less to actually get that place full.
Yeah,
right?
but like at the same time, it kind of hurts them because if the tenant hadn't been paying because of COVID, they have a lot more money. They just ate a huge cost, and it's like, where is that cost coming from? Yeah. So the prices could either go down to fill it, or they could go up because they're trying to like remake that money that they lost. Yeah. So we're not really sure what landlords are going to do.
I think it's supply and demand, right? So if everybody's getting evicted and they don't have any jobs, they can't afford the house.
Exactly.
But if I feel like the economy, the unemployment rate, I'm pretty sure is on its way down again.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Yeah. So maybe in that buffer of it going from, what is it, maybe 8 million right now, if it goes, or 8%. Yeah, that's I think that's the last number I heard was 8%. But so if it could get trimmed down to 5% in the next 12 months, then those predictions of evictions should come down. Like, it's not going to be as a nightmare as it could have been. Yeah. Right. So, I'm always to the optimistic. I'm always to the positive. you know, I do come from the perspective of I only hold 5 units. You know,
Right.
like if I held 500 units,
Could be scary.
I might have to think differently.
Right.
So like my perspective on this as a small investor in a little bit of a unit, like a unit count, I don't have the perspective of being a giant, you know, yet.
Right. Yeah. Right. So let's see. It depends on what happens with the landlords, right, and what the Senate does to like help alleviate this. But let's say that they aren't able to fill those positions, or they just don't want to go through this terrible process again. Because like, what if another version of COVID comes up?
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to go through that again if the Senate hasn't figured out what to do. So if they lose their tenants, they might sell their houses that they were renting out, or their apartment complex, duplexes, whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see this huge influx of houses on the market, which right now is very low. So the supply is going to go up, and the demand will be filled, and then the demand will go down, and then we're going to have these houses just sitting on the market that all these landlords sold because they either don't want to go through this again, they lost too much money, they had to, you know, file bankruptcy or something like that.
Yeah.
So there could be a bunch of houses on the market now.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a flooded market, and whenever the flooded market happens, the prices of homes are going to go down. Now, the good news is a lot of homeowners right now are going to be safe because they've earned so much equity in their home from 2020 that any kind of correction, they'll probably be okay.
Yeah. I was going to run the stat that people from the time that they bought their house, more people have more than 50% of the equity in their home than what it's worth. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when I advise a client to say, you know, if you're going to be here for 10 plus years, you can pretty much survive the market ebbs and flows. If you're going to sell within 3 years, you're going to be it's going to be very risky to sell in 3 years because you never know which, you got to time the market right if you're selling it that soon. You know, and people have had the luxury for the last 24 months to buy a house, live in it for a year, and exponentially be able to sell it for more money. You know, last year I sold a house for $315,000. Mm-hmm. This year they decided to move to DC. I sold it for $355,000.
That's good.
In a year, 12 months.
Yeah.
They used the house for 12 months, and they got. I mean, that's a huge percentage return in 12 months.
Was it in like a really good area?
It was in Fairlawn. I mean, you know, it was in a nicer neighborhood. I mean, it was a nice house. I mean, $300,000 house around here. You know, it's nice.
Yeah.
So that was a remarkable situation in this time, and that's just not going to be possible in a declining market. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting time because especially here locally, like typically we survive the national averages and any ups and downs. Like we just pretty steady pace on like we beat the national averages no matter which way it's going. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And, you know, depending on how it goes with the flooded markets, we might see even more houses go out. Because if someone owns a second property, like let's say they live up north and then they go down south for the summer,
right?
They might see the dropping prices and be like, oh, I don't like want to keep that house
the
anymore.
The vacation homes might be going.
Yeah, they might leave because they see the market being flooded. And usually whenever the real estate market gets flooded and starts becoming stagnant is when you start to see the economy tank. So they might want to like liquidate that asset so that way they have cash.
I would be very interested to know what the people are saying in the vacation communities. You know, like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Like what kind of market is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina right now? Because that was a hot spot. That was a very big hot spot. You know, and you know, I seen an article about Miami. People are just dumping property in Miami. Like it's a buyer's market in these big areas that have big numbers of coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know, so very interesting time.
I wonder how that would. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I go back down to like the beach because I have family that lives there.
Right.
So I might just like poke around while I'm down there, like for Christmas or something.
Right.
See what's going on down there. But so here's the big kicker. In 2021. So we've already talked about all these houses that could flood the market based on how the eviction crisis is going to happen.
Yeah.
We haven't considered what inflation is going to look like next year because we've had the government just pumping money into the economy to help stimulate it.
Right.
So now we have all this extra cash or digital currency, whatever you want to call it, flowing around in our economy. So people have some people have gotten disposable income depending on their living situation. So what does that mean? We won't see that effect until sometime like next year, maybe 2022.
Yeah.
So if inflation occurs, they're going to raise interest rates. If interest rates go up, all those homes that are sitting on the market, people aren't going to want to buy them because we've gotten so used to this below 3% interest rate. So if it hits high 3s, low 4s, are they going to buy those houses? This is all like perfect storm kind of scenarios. There's a lot of factors that are going into this.
Yeah. And we need to table that. That's a topic we need to talk to Dave Sheeler about, you know, because typically when the rates come up, the prices come down, depending on what the demand is. Like typically there's an ebb and flow between the rates and the values. You know, when the rates go low, values go up, obviously, in the reverse, right? So it just depends on what the demand actually is, if people are going to continue to buy. But typically, once these rates spike a little bit, some time goes by, like a little bit of time goes by, and then things just start picking back up as normal. You know, that's typically what happens. And around here anyway, you know, within the 14 years I've been doing this, that, you know, I've seen rates. I bought a house at like 6%, you know, and then I've got a mortgage now, or I just locked in a client for 2.5%.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it wouldn't have stopped me knowing that I could have gotten a lower rate if I was in a buyer situation wanting a home. If I could get it, I'd probably go ahead and pay it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the Senate's going to do about this whole eviction crisis, because all of these problems that we could see in 2021 stem from them doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Because right now, I think, aren't they on recess? Or
no, they're actually in session.
Oh, they're in session right now? Okay. Wait.
Or they're about to be back in session.
So
I know the Supreme Court thing put them back into work.
Yeah. So I wonder what's happening with that. Do you know what's happening with that because of the Supreme Court justice dying like a few days ago?
Well, I mean, there's going to
Are they going back and I thought they were like kind of like boycotting because they didn't want Trump to put in a Supreme Court while the election was right around the corner.
So there, you know, we can go deep into that topic. I mean, that can be that's a point of contention with a lot of people. But from what I understand, hey, at first I took the position of, well, they didn't allow Obama's pick to get through in his last year.
Right.
And there was Republicans saying, hey, if this happens to Trump or Hillary in their last year, then hold us accountable to doing the same thing, like having this same conversation.
Yeah, in 2016 I was on that
But here's the thing, is it's the president's duty to put a nomination up. It's actually the Senate's job to confirm. Okay? So if you look at articles on this and you research history, the opposing party has never confirmed the opposition party's president's confirmation in the last year. It's never happened. Okay. So, this hasn't even happened for the last 80 years. Like, for this to happen twice now in a row is like beyond history, right?
Unheard of.
So if you look at history of this happening, when the Senate and the president are in line, when they're the same party, the president has a constitutional obligation to put them up.
Yeah.
And the Senate confirms or denies them. So, like, they're just running the rules of the game in this situation. So, like, you know, where I took the stance of, well, you know, Obama put somebody up, but the Senate didn't confirm. Like, that was exactly the checks of power, the balances of power that we have set up. That's exactly what should have happened. Like, in the history of it all, the precedent of it all says that's what happens.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So also, they're working on a new budget. That's what their next. So I don't know where their priorities are right now.
I think they're still debating a stimulus, a second round or another round of stimulus. Right?
I know. Yeah. So they're debating stimulus, and then they have this budget coming up that they have to sort out. And if the budget doesn't get sorted out, then government comes to a halt. If the government comes to a halt right now, we're in a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
We're in a heap of trouble. And this eviction crisis could happen if the government shuts down. So they need to put their differences aside and like get to work down to the numbers to get this going, because if they don't, we're in a lot of trouble for 2021.
Yeah. They're gonna play the power game. Like the power struggle that's going on now is not benefiting the people that actually need the things that they're fighting over. So they really do need to drop the power. The Game of Thrones game that they're playing needs to stop. They need to come together, work together, and like move us forward so we can get to the goals that we need achieved. So yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
So just to like wrap it back up, because like we talked about this for a while. Eviction crisis could happen depending on what the Senate says.
Yeah.
If that happens, you could see a flooded market with houses.
Yeah.
Could.
Yeah.
We don't know what. It's all, it's all dependent on the landlords.
Yeah.
And then that could increase home prices because there's going to be a huge supply. Inflation could occur at the end of next year. If inflation occurs, we're going to see a little hiccup anyways, because I think that's probably inevitable. That probably will happen.
Right.
But yeah, so that I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch it and then play my cards the way that I feel like I'm going to be best protected.
Yeah.
Because we've already gone through this before in 2008, and everyone kind of understands what they need to do now because we've already experienced it. So if everyone takes 2008 as an example, you should be fine coming out at the end of this.
Yeah. I would encourage everybody to not be overextending themselves in this type of an environment.
Mm-hmm.
Get as solvent as you can, as quickly as you can, and like really be conscious of your spending. I'm guilty of splurging. I'm trying to be more conscious of where my money goes and what I'm investing in. And I mean, this is a result of me just being willing to spend money, But this was a pure investment. This right here was an investment in myself. It was an investment in my company. It was for me to be able to produce this and be the knowledge broker of my community. It took an investment. So like this was wise spending in my opinion. But frivolous spending on things that aren't going to return, you need to question everything that you're doing financially right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you have money wrapped up in stocks, what I would recommend is if you're invested in a Fortune 500 company, I'd keep the stocks there. But usually whenever you see, if the housing crisis has happened, economy's going to crash, stock market's going to crash. Usually when the stock market crashes, bonds go up. So I would liquidate what I have invested in like these smaller companies, unless there's just something like you believe in it 110%, you're willing to take the loss.
Yeah.
Move everything that you have to like bonds, or if you can, invest in gold and silver, like the hard currencies. That's what I would do. So I'm going to watch this, and based on this, I'll be moving around some of my assets to different things to protect myself.
Sure.
But that's what I would recommend. Also, high interest savings accounts if you're scared about investing.
Right. Dude, I think you at your age doing what you're doing is the right move, man. Like, putting out what you've done and how you're structuring your life, and telling people this was you had no debt obligation, you didn't go to college or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You've just been in the workforce for the time that you've been out of high school, right?
No, I went to college.
Okay.
I went to college for 2 years, but I went to New River.
Gotcha.
So I went to a community college, got my degree, and my degree is business, right? Business and marketing.
Right.
Business and marketing, to me, you don't need a 4-year degree to be really good at it. If you're good at it, you're good at it, and you'll succeed, right? So
the piece of paper is just nothing.
To be fair, I only got the piece of paper to please my parents.
Yeah.
Because my parents, my grandparents, didn't have college degrees. But they worked extremely hard to help my parents. My parents paid for most of their college.
Yeah.
But like to help them live at home, provide food and stuff, they went to college, right? And I saw that and I was like, no, that's really great. But to me, I just didn't. So like right now, I have zero debt. I have a little bit of credit card debt because I have a friend's wedding coming up.
Gotcha.
But yeah, zero debt, and I'm just investing my money that I have right now and then buying things.
Seems real. I mean, it's a great opportunity to be putting your money in this market because it's so, the opportunity in front of you is better than, it has been, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like super glad that I got this job because I was working at Kroger and I wasn't making that much, and it was kind of dicey there. So I was kind of worried I quit because the COVID, and it's like it was just a really terrible situation
Right.
and everything. They were treating us horribly. You know, I don't care if they hear this because it's true, right? So, so I left, and then, you know, I didn't have income coming in because, like, I was doing photography as, like, a side gig, right? But, like, you know, with COVID, you know, that's really hard to do because people don't want to be around other people.
Yeah.
So even though you're behind a camera, like, 10 feet away from them. But anyways, so I didn't have money coming in. And I saw this happening in front of my eyes. I'm like, I'm going to miss this opportunity. I'm not going to have money to invest because I was living off of my savings.
Right.
So, so as soon as I got here, it's still, economy's still tanking kind of, or the stock market's still tanking. So I was like, invest.
Right.
Just do it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So,
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking with you about that stuff.
Dude, I love it. I've been into this since I was like 16, 17. Nice. I think it was Instagram. I saw the millionaires. I'm like, how do I be that? How do I do that? Not because at first I wanted the flashy stuff, but then I realized what the freedom that came with it. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I want. Yeah. That's what I want right there. Yeah. But yeah, it's totally random, but yeah. So TikTok.
Yeah, man.
They're staying. They're I don't know how they did it, but they're staying. So I have the new.
What a weird partnership, right?
Yeah, that is. So it's kind of weird because I thought Walmart was working with Microsoft, but then Microsoft was like, just got shut out the door, and then Walmart was still there.
How does Walmart enter the social media app game? Like, that's weird.
So they're doing it, and so the article that I was reading from Morning Brew, they were saying that they're adding a new layer. So Amazon has their cloud-based services and everything, right? And they have e-commerce, but they don't have, even though Amazon's really big, they don't have like an app that drives people to their website. Everyone just kind of goes to Amazon because they've built up a super reputable brand for themselves. Walmart over the years has built up this brand of being great value. So it usually draws in the crowd that's not the 1%, right? But now that TikTok is around, they're going to push their e-commerce to, I think it said like 100 million active users a day. So I don't know what that means. We could see ads on TikTok now.
Just Walmart ads?
I don't know. Well, ads for products. So
I don't think we'll ever see a Target ad.
Probably not. You know, if there's another, what was that dude from Target that everyone was freaking out over years ago?
I don't know.
I don't know. We won't see a guy like that. They'll probably figure out how to get the algorithm to shut out people from Target and stuff like that. Right. They're wearing those uniforms. But anyways, so we'll probably see ads from Walmart, or at least people that sell their products through Walmart. So, you know, like a Hot Wheels ad or Great Value chips or something weird like that. But you could also see affiliate programs for people that have a certain amount of followers. That would be really cool. Yeah. Because there's really no one that does that. You would always have to go to an outside source to get an affiliate link. But if the affiliate link's already built into TikTok, then once you hit a certain amount, that would be like YouTube monetization for ads. So, and then who knows what happens there? Like, they might send you a product to do on your TikTok. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of opportunity there. Definitely. So it's definitely a good move on on Walmart's part of getting into that TikTok.
Sliding into that deal was genius.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I have the deal pulled up because the whole thing was the Trump administration was advised not to let the deal go through because they were thinking that it was still going to be a security threat. But they've somehow worked it out to where Oracle and Walmart are going to be a majority owner of TikTok and ByteDance. So TikTok is doing this thing, I guess it's next year. I don't know what the dates are, but they're doing TikTok Global. They're revamping their brand, so they're calling it TikTok Global. I guess that's just because it's worldwide now, and everyone's pretty much on it. Yeah. So they're going to have, Oracle and Walmart are going to have a 20% stake. Here, I can actually pull this up so the viewers can see it. We'll just be careful because I'm on my personal email. But so see here where it says TikTok Global. It's a combined 20% stake of that new company that's going to be made. And then they also own 40% of ByteDance. So ByteDance is the cloud-based service, and then 20% is TikTok Global. So combined, that's 60%. Yeah. And then I guess they'll keep 80% of TikTok. So TikTok is going to keep 80% of TikTok, but they're going to own majority of ByteDance. The reason it's probably a majority of ByteDance is because that's like the cloud service that they use for TikTok. So now that's being converted to whatever Oracle is. So Oracle is getting a huge boost into their cloud service. So it's basically Amazon's AWS system
Yeah.
is kind of lagging behind now because they don't have all these active users because most of their users are like the NFL or, you know, like big companies.
Yeah.
It's not 100 million people on TikTok, you know? So that's like the kind of the deal that they have going on now. You know, it says Walmart's flexing its e-commerce muscles with TikTok. And yeah. And then WeChat. WeChat was saved too. Everyone was worried about WeChat. WeChat's okay. So.
You ever use WeChat?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I never used it.
So WeChat, from my understanding, is very popular with people that are coming from Asia. Because they have like long distance text messages. So they use WeChat, which is just an online Chinese company that is like a chat system. Like what's the American one? Shoot, I don't remember what it was. My sister uses it though, but it's like their version, so they can text over the internet instead of using, I guess, Facebook Messenger or whatever, because that's just what their culture uses.
Yeah.
So whenever that was going away, they were really scared because then they wouldn't have an inexpensive way to communicate with their family back home. So that was the one that I was actually kind of worried about because that's like a really big deal, not being able to communicate with your family back home. TikTok was that's leisure, but WeChat's kind of important because that's like communicating with your family.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But WeChat and everything was saved, so that's really good. I guess that's good for everyone, because I know a lot of people have made jobs out of TikTok too.
Right. Oh man, I mean, people are getting. I mean, Bang Energy's sponsoring posts, and I mean, there's people selling merchandise through TikTok. I mean, you know, people are being able to direct their traffic to their YouTube channels in big waves. You know, artists that you would have never heard of. I mean, this guy, Ricky Desktop. Have you ever heard?
I haven't heard of him. No.
Dude, this guy's bringing in like these crazy beats that everybody's making these dances to, and he's blowing up.
I think I heard of that. So
yeah,
his
dice beat and the chicken wing beat and you know all these guys like these very talented people figuring out a way to get reach and like having something great to provide. You know, very cool guy. You know, like and. You know, for that to be the platform that he was discovered, like, you know, that's where I discovered him. It could actually lead to, like, changing his life, like, in an amazing way.
I was scrolling through TikTok last night, and I found a bunch of, like, small music artists that are actually really, really good. They have, like, really good beats, and they have amazing voices. I would have never found them because it's really hard to find people on Instagram, Facebook, because like the way that they build their algorithm, it's
too convoluted.
Yeah, it's too like
you don't get any reach unless you're paying. It's a pay to play platform on those platforms right now, and TikTok will be that way one day. It'll be that 100%. Way. So we'll have to find the next one. You know, but right now they're giving you so much opportunity to get reach and get brand and get familiar with your audience. I mean, there's just like it's just an amazing thing that what's going on with TikTok. Like we need to take note of like, you know, and like you said, like follow Gary Vee around. And wherever he's going and whatever he's talking about, do it and do it fast.
Yeah.
You know?
So on Friday, I was like in this mindset of like, oh my God, TikTok is going away. What are we going to do? Right? Because I'm helping you with your marketing strategy to like your brand on social media.
Yeah.
TikTok's a huge one. So it's like, what are we going to do? So I found the app Triller. Gary Vee's on Triller. I was like, okay, so this makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
And then, what's her name? Charlie D'Amelio?
Yeah.
I think I'm saying that right.
D'Amelio.
D'Amelio. Yeah. Okay. Well, she's TikTok megastar at like 86 million.
Yeah.
Last time I checked was like Friday, so it's probably 88 now.
Right.
But she like is moving some of her content to Triller, so she's making it on TikTok and Triller, because someone also like me in her like marketing brand was like, you need to move here because like TikTok might go away. And you don't want to go to Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
So
like her and Addison Rae both, those are like the two big TikTok stars. Both of them have now a huge YouTube following, and they're making YouTube content as well.
Do they do like TikTok mashups where they repurpose their TikToks on there?
No, they just have other things going on in their life that they go and do on YouTube.
I shouldn't have said that. That's like a really good idea. You've seen like the Vine compilations of like the best Vines? If you do the TikTok compilations of the best TikToks, that's like the next
You get huge views. You get a lot of views. Those compilation videos are tremendously popular. You know, they are.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said that. That's a really good idea. Someone's going to monetize on that.
Hey,
I might go home and start finding all the best TikToks.
Honestly, you know, if Gary Vee teaches us anything, it's you can talk about things and tell people what to do and motivate and try to inspire them to take action. But like 99% of them aren't going to do it.
They're not going to do it. Yeah,
It's too hard.
No, I agree with that.
It's too hard.
I agree with that. But it's also depends on who I'm talking to, because
Yeah.
like you could be talking with one of those motivated people, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
wow, they took my idea.
The play is to give it all away for free, to provide as much value so they keep coming back, so they'll buy your ebook or your digital product, you know, and you know, you provide enough value here for them to be a fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, side note to so I have this little black notebook that I write in at home. It's like all business ideas that I want to do before I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right. So, and like so I went to Atlanta probably 2 years ago, and I wrote down this pizza place. It's called Your Pie, I think. And I was like, it's like a Subway version of pizza.
Right.
Because this goes back to that point of like, don't like, who cares about you giving away your ideas?
Right.
This was my idea. I obviously don't have the capital to start a franchise or like take part in a franchise.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had this in my head, and I was like, we're in a college town. This would be a really great place. Guess what just opened up next to Panda Express in Blacksburg? Freaking Your Pie. The same franchise that I wanted to do. And I was like,
Crap.
they beat me to it. You know what? But I can't do anything about it, right?
Right.
But I just make that note.
So after you
next
get
time.
your stock portfolio right, you get a real estate portfolio good, then you're rolling into the franchises. You're looking for that
Possibly.
next one.
Possibly.
Yeah, dude, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, that's to me. Franchises are more of a passive thing.
Yeah.
I'd probably get someone who could help me manage them.
Oh,
and
you
put
would,
them in charge.
No,
of it.
yeah, you would just be
I'm
the
just the
guy
guy-
putting the
I'm like an angel
money
investor.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what the you know, the top people that buy in the franchises, the company will supply the actual support of the managers.
Yeah.
You know, Cookout's not a franchise; they're all corporate. But you know, they send managers to different locations, and like so, if you get involved with a company, I mean, even like Subway will have a recruiting thing for like new management, taking an assistant manager and bringing them into a new location to manage the store. Like, so that's all. Like, you put the money up, you have the location, and they'll provide you the support that you need to run the store.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an actual operator.
Right. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
just the guy that's giving them the money to do that.
Yeah.
And there's a few other franchises that are like pretty smart to do that are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A will pretty much give you a Chick-fil-A if you prove to them that it's good for your area.
Yeah.
So they'll do that, and then U-Haul is another good one.
Yeah.
So those two are on my list. I'd love to own a Chick-fil-A because then for
U-Haul
Chick-fil-A,
would be easy if you just had somebody taking the reservations. You know.
yeah,
That's been the problem with us with my moving truck. You know, I got this free moving truck I got for my clients. The biggest problem we have with like giving that out is getting them scheduled. So and we just have one truck.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got. Imagine if you had 10 trucks.
Yeah.
You know, like that could be a logistical nightmare if you don't have proper structure.
yeah, that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's totally off topic. But I was just like, that
Hey,
happened to me.
you know,
and I was
sometimes
kind
we
of
need to
disappointed.
roll off script.
Yeah,
You know,
dude,
this is
no,
just
I
an
like it.
outline.
I like it. Yeah. So I know you're really into fitness, right? Apple did their huge thing where they unveiled like a few of their new products. Unfortunately, they didn't unveil an iPhone.
Right.
I'm still really butthurt about that.
So that's why you think the stock went down, is because they didn't give us
100%.
the feature?
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get into this part, the reason Apple stock went down is because so Apple usually reveals their iPhone in September. It's usually around beginning to mid-September. They did their whole thing. They unveiled the new Apple Watch, which is great. They unveiled the new iPad Air, which is great. It's a cheaper iPad Pro.
Yeah.
And then a few other things. They're doing the whole bundle thing, but no iPhone. Everyone's like, where's the iPhone? Because that's what, not to diss on whoever else made the Apple Watch, but everyone cares about the iPhone. That's where a majority of the sales come from. It's like iPhone, and then it's like iPad, and then the iMacs, and then the Apple Watch is at like the bottom.
Yeah.
And then their HomePods or whatever.
Right.
But so everyone was like, there's no iPhone, and then a bunch of articles started coming about it. Even though Apple said that they weren't going to unveil the iPhone, everyone was upset that they didn't unveil the iPhone. So because of that, it scared investors, and then the stock dropped, which is great for me. I had a couple stocks, and then I bought a few more because their stocks are dropping. But yeah, that's why it happened. So the reason that it didn't come out was because, and this is all speculation because this is from like leaked specs.
Yeah.
Compiled together. I think I read it on, I want to say Tech Radar. But Apple is working on a new screen. Fun fact, the iPhone Pro model that's coming out for the iPhone 12, not actually an Apple screen. It's a Samsung screen. Samsung's making it. But
Interesting.
it's really interesting because like the iPhone 12 has an Apple screen, but the iPhone 12 Pro won't have an Apple screen. Allegedly, I don't. We'll wait until it comes out.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to have an OLED I don't know if it's 4K, but it's an OLED 120 hertz screen, and it didn't come out because they didn't have the threads for the screen. So because of that, it delayed it. Was what I'm assuming.
Gotcha.
So that's why iPhone 12 is not out, or iPhone 12 Pro is not out. So, but anyways, that's why stocks dropped. iPhone 12 not out. But so what do you think about this Apple Fitness Plus and the services that they're bundling up together?
I'm not a big watch guy. I'm not.
No, this isn't the watch. This is the bundle plan that they're putting together.
So you get all their services for a fee.
Yeah, you're getting the Apple TV. You're getting Apple Fitness Plus. You're getting Apple Newsstand. 2 terabytes of iCloud storage.
Everybody loves a bundle.
Dude, okay. We were talking about this on a couple podcasts ago, right?
Yeah.
Where we were like, Apple hit $2 trillion because of their digital products. It went from 1 to 2 trillion because of digital products.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are they gonna beat that? Because you're thinking of something that doesn't even exist yet, which is what Apple's good for, right? Because like that was what Steve Jobs did with the iPhone. People didn't know they wanted it yet, but then when they came out with it, everyone was like, I have to have this.
Yeah.
So this bundle, no one knew that they wanted it yet, but once they did it, everyone was like, this is such a good deal because it's like $30 for all of this stuff bundled together, and they've revamped the fitness app because now they have like videos of trainers, so you get to follow along with workout plans.
Nice.
There's something to do with like it's like a better tracker for your fitness if you have like the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Because the new Apple Watch, it has a blood O2 sensor, which is very interesting. It uses a green LED, a red LED, and then like an infrared sensor, and apparently it can like shoot that through your skin, which seems dangerous. Actually, another side note, I had an Apple Watch Series 3, and I put it on a banana skin and then did the blood test, or the beats per minute test, and it singed a hole in the banana skin.
What?
Yeah, it was like a little black mark, little black ring on the banana.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I was like, I'll put that on my skin. My skin's thicker or tougher than a banana peel.
Right.
But like, it was just, I was like, that's on my skin. But
that's crazy.
But so they have this new sensor out, so it's supposed to help with that. So that in pair with the fitness app is supposed to do like these really great things.
Yeah. I guess where I get my perspective from is I'm following a lot of like bodybuilders right now. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get, extremely healthy. I'm trying to get an aesthetic on my body that I've never achieved before, and I'm trying to find these guys that have paid the price to get their bodies in the absolute best shape possible, and they all bag on it. They all bag on that technology. Mm-hmm. They all bag on like the accuracy of it, and they just don't believe in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Yeah, because like everyone,
like the lay fitness person, like just the average, Jane and Joe, go get some cardio in.
That's me. Yeah.
That might be what's up. But for the people that are actually like in the gym, perfecting their body, sculpting their body, none of them believe in it. None of them believe in that.
Is it that they don't believe in the accuracy of what it tells you?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Gotcha. Huh, that's really interesting because I always felt like they were like pretty accurate to an extent because like I have like stress problems, so like when I had my Apple Watch, it would tell me that my heart rate was going up.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, my heart rate is going up because like I could feel it in my face that I'm stressed.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering why they, any IFBB Pro that slides onto this show, try to tell us why you believe that. Like I said, I've watched a lot of Greg Doucette. That's the guy I'm following now. If you don't know who Greg Doucette is, he's an IFBB Pro. He's done 59 bodybuilding shows. He's actually who's put me on my meal plan and like how to eat, what to eat, and he's been the one kind of bagging on it. I haven't really gone deep on why he's bagging on it, but he's like they're not accurate at all. So like I'd have to understand why he's saying that to really go to have a real perspective. But when a guy like that says something, I believe it. I just, he's paid the price. He's gotten himself to where he is. And if he says do this or that's stupid, it's the gospel.
Yeah. So like for me, I would also believe him until I found something that said that no, this
science proved.
Science proved, or like someone who is like really knowledgeable in technology proves that this watch does work as well as it says it does.
Yeah.
I do agree that there probably is a little bit of inaccuracy there because they're doing it based on probably a small group of people in terms of that, and everyone's body's different, so there could be some discrepancies there.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I also use the Apple Watch for other stuff like notifications. Actually, it has a new, I think it's called an altimeter or altimeter or what? Altimeter. Thank you. That tracks your elevation, and I like the hike. So it's supposed to be more accurate because it's always going to be on.
I mean, hey, look, you can take phone calls from it. I mean, you can you don't have to pull your phone out of your pocket. I mean, it's probably a valuable tool.
You could use it as your phone. You could leave your phone at home because they have a cellular version. Sorry, I'm sorry my words. So it can just be that could be your phone for the day, right? So you can, if you forgot your phone, or like let's say you're going to work out, and I don't know about you, but I hate leaving my phone in my pocket when I'm working out. I always put it on the ground.
Yeah.
So you could just use that, and it can play your music because it's got all your music stored on it from the cloud and everything like that. So it's a really cool product.
Yeah.
But in terms of the fitness aspect of it, could be weird.
Yeah.
But back to the bundle. So I think that Apple is going to go from $2 trillion to $3 trillion in about a year and a half. If I had to take a guess, with this new bundle, $30 a month, it's really no extra cost to them because they're already doing this.
I wonder how many iPhone let's do the math there. Do you think there's 100 million U.S. people that have an iPhone?
Actually, I remember seeing a study about this. This was back in like 2016. They said that 50 to 55% of Americans that have phones are iPhones. So there's about we'll round up. We'll say there's about 330 million people in the U.S. Let's say there's a good percentage of those that are kids, but also kids have phones now. So
from like 7 years old,
yeah,
people are getting these kids' phones.
So it's it could vary, but like there's a majority of Americans who have phones or iPhones.
Would you say 100 million people have an iPhone?
It's 100 million. Scott got it.
100 million? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
let's just do the math. 100 million. Okay, times 30. That's $3 billion. If all the people with iPhones subscribe, let's just say 25% of that actually subscribes to the bundle. That's 750 mil. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's a huge number.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's only Americans.
Right.
You have 7 billion people in the world.
Yeah. Apple's the company to invest in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why like I'm buying a lot of shares of Apple right now is because it's super low, and like I see the iPhone 12 promises with the whole 5G like millimeter wave or wave.
Do you think Apple's going to hit the folding phone revolution at some point?
So we might have already talked about this at one point, not on the podcast, but. So Apple's whole thing is they wait until stuff is perfected. Yeah. Right.
They don't want to be the pioneer anymore. It doesn't seem.
It depends. I guess it depends on what it is. I think the Apple Watch they were willing to take the bullet on because at the time there weren't many smartwatches if there were any other than like a Fitbit.
Right.
And even those weren't super advanced. Right. But Apple is always about perfection. They want the nicest quality everything, even though they might not perform the best. Right. They always want the nicest quality everything. So I think the folding phones right now are still in that phase of...
It's a beta.
Yeah.
It's a beta.
Because right now the whole issue is some hinges on those folding phones, how are they going to hold up over time? Because usually when you buy a phone, it's like you hold on to it for like a year to 3 years.
Yeah.
So how are the hinges going to hold up? And then also whenever you're like viewing the screen at certain angles, you can still see the ridge in the phone screen. So it's all very like... Probably at some point, but I don't see it happening on like iPhone 13 or 14. Maybe 15. Could be 14. There could be like a 14S where there's like a halfway thing in like the year cycle of the iPhone where they do one. I think if you saw one, you'd probably see an iPad first do a folding thing. I don't know why you would want to fold an iPad, but like if you, it could be a
Well, see, the
solution.
thing about, they would be eliminating the need for, well, I mean, the iPad Pro, given that it's a bigger thing, but they would actually be eliminating one of their products by creating the folding phone, because you'd have a phone that's like this, and then the fold part would be another one of those to bring it out to be a tablet size.
Yeah.
So you would actually be eliminating some of your product.
Yeah. Actually, Microsoft kind of has something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but it's, it folds out like a tablet. But the problem with that one is the battery life sucks because it's running 2 screens at once, and because it folds, you can't fold a battery. So the battery has to sit in one side of the screen. I guess the solution would be to put one in the other side.
Yeah.
And also the cameras, for some reason, there's only one camera. It's a front-facing camera, so it's like super low resolution.
Yeah.
But Microsoft has something like that. Again, it kind of sucks. Actually, I'm going to say it does suck.
Yeah.
It's like a $1,400 phone that has like really terrible battery life and a terrible camera.
The Samsung Fold, the one that's folded with Samsung, the way that you can actually, utilize the better camera while actually being able to see yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool. The second generation of that phone, I think is like close to being something that if you're a Samsung user, that they will actually be interested in, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So will there be a folding iPhone? Probably at some point.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
So 2 or 3 years away, you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if I was taking a guess.
So maybe we can try to play Nostradamus ourselves. 3 years to a folding iPhone, and we can just go back and see if we were right.
Folding iPad, maybe a year.
Right. I don't know. I'm not with the folding iPad.
They do
well.
if you have a folding iPad Pro, it'd probably be easier to put in your bag.
Maybe.
Because they're really big.
Yeah.
I don't know how big they are, but they're really big.
Right.
But yeah, man. So that's Apple.
So that's pretty much all the topics we had to talk about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. TikTok and what might, it's always interesting to think about what the future holds.
I love thinking about the future.
And we don't want to think that the future could be bad, but it can. It can be.
I like to prepare for worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Because if I prepare for worst case scenario and it ain't that bad, I'm doing all right.
The people that are most prepared in chaos are the ones that survive.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that actually can prepare greatly will thrive.
Yeah.
So.
And it's usually perceived as luck.
Yeah.
Because if you prepare and the opportunity comes, you're prepared. So that seems lucky.
That's a little lucky.
Yeah.
That's a little lucky.
Seems like
But that's also a lot of skill involved too.
Oh, yeah.
And in life, to get where you want, you're going to need a little luck anyway.
Yeah.
So let luck have its credit, but let everybody call that luck, but just know all the hard work you did where nobody's seen what you were doing.
Yeah.
And
90% preparation, like 10% luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we missed the affordable the rentals thing. You want to say that for next time, or you want to touch on that?
We can hit it really quick. Because I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Because it's about our local area, but it was on the National Association of Realtors.
Right.
Let me pull up the where does it say?
So Blacksburg, Virginia is on the list.
Right there, number 10.
Yeah.
We are okay. I think this is false. We're one of the most affordable college towns to live in. The 1,032 3-bedroom average rent, I think that's a lie. I think that's between Christiansburg, Blacksburg, and Radford.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Blacksburg.
If they were just calculating Blacksburg alone, that would not be right. I mean, the mortgage rate for a 3-bedroom in Blacksburg, if you're anywhere close to campus, if you buy that home right now, minimum $215,000, minimum. 4-bedroom condos in Blacksburg have exploded. 4-bedroom townhouses in Blacksburg have exploded. They're all way more than that on just the mortgage payment.
Yeah, I was just looking at a Zillow listing today of a 1-bedroom apartment downtown, and it's like $219,000.
Yeah.
So that's about $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be more than that because you got utilities and all that other stuff.
Right.
But because like I have some friends living at the edge, right? And one of my friends, their dad, owns the Edge, like that property management company.
Yeah.
So they get a discount, and they pay like $1,200 a month. So and split between 2 people.
Yeah.
So it's like $600 a month. And that's with a discount. So I know the Edge is way more expensive than.
I know the reserve. The reserve I hear is $1,000 a room, but they've got pools and clubhouses and like it's an amazing community type thing. Do what?
Is it the reserve or the retreat?
The retreat.
Oh, the retreat.
I think it's the retreat. Yeah.
It's off of Price's Fork.
Price's Fork, the new development.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like $1,000. It's like, I was just looking at it because I was looking at apartments for me and my friends, but it's like $1,037 per bedroom or something like that, and that's for like a 4-bedroom. And the bedroom's not much bigger than this office, you know. And then you got to put a bed in it. You got to put a desk because you're going to college. And then if you want to have a TV and a dresser,
right?
You know, you end up like you walk 2 inches and you're out the door.
Yeah.
You know? So not very big for how much it is. So this I think is a lie, but it's cool to see it on the list.
Yeah.
Because it brings people.
Yeah, and when this this might have been calculated 12 months ago. You know,
Maybe.
I mean, to collect that data. And do it all, it takes a lot of time to get these numbers, and it'd be interesting to know where they're actually pulling this data. Hey, National Association of Realtors, if you want some real numbers, call me. You know, let's talk. You know, I can do that. I'll put myself up and volunteer to help you create this stuff here in the New River Valley if you need it.
Yeah, this is also the most expensive places to rent, and of course UCLA is like way up there. $8,300 a month for 3 bedrooms.
Wow.
That's insane.
That is insane.
We were actually talking about the new Chargers and Rams stadium there in LA.
Yeah.
It's on 300 acres of land.
Wow.
In the middle of LA.
How does that even happen?
I don't know.
You have to destroy a lot to
They destroyed a few homes.
Yeah.
100%. But the calculation for that stadium was like $5 billion.
Yeah.
I guarantee like half of that was the land that it's sitting on right now.
Right.
So
when two NFL franchises use the same stadium, they can, because each franchise is worth, $3 billion itself.
Yeah, but they had to combine to get. That should tell you how bad it is. 2 NFL teams doing very well. For Chargers not so much, but the Rams doing very well for themselves.
Yeah.
Had to combine to get a stadium. That's expensive. Like that's expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like the Raiders one was like $2 billion in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they're calling that the Death Star.
The Death Star. Yeah.
That's an awesome name.
They called it something else last night, and I looked at my mom. I'm like, that is called the Death Star. That is not whatever they just said.
Yeah.
But it looks like it. It's just black.
Yeah.
And it's got a giant torch on the front.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I
Dude,
can't wait to be there.
Oh yeah, because you go to Vegas a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we're on that list. Very
Right on.
cool.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Anybody that wants to come and be a guest here on this show, we'd like to talk to you. Let us know if you got something that you want us to talk about with you. If you enjoyed the content, please engage with us, ask questions, comment. Hit the like button, and obviously we need a subscription. We need you to subscribe to the channel so
It's free.
Yeah,
It's free.
I mean, that's the best thing you can do for us is to actually like and subscribe and share our stuff. And if you have any questions, we want to handle them. If you want to be a part of the show, email me. You got my you can find my information down in the description.
All your
right?
social medias are down below.
Just message me, man.
Your email's down there. My email's down there.
Just message us and we'll get you on if we think that we have some relevant topics to talk about with you. And that's it, guys and gals. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. See you next week.
Cool.